Besides that, some colleges have actually announced that they're going to have scheduled shower time. I can't even say that without laughing. What's going on, everyone? I'm Nick the Tutor. I'm back again today to talk about college openings, a huge issue, really important to all of the subscribers, all of my followers. I know you guys rock and you really want to go back to college. You want to have the fun, you want to have the learning, you want to have the experience. I'm going to talk in this video a little bit about what that's going to look like, what are a lot of the different options. I just wrote a pile of notes on the various permutations about how this could go down. And in this video, what I'm going to go through is what college might look like later this year and what colleges are going to do to give you the best possible experience going forward. Now, I just wanted to do a quick plug. I did drop my new book for anyone that's looking for ACT prep. Definitely check that out. Don't want to talk about that too much because I'm here to talk about college today. But that said, let's be real. The college experience is the best part of college for a lot of students. Obviously, education is important. I myself was a scholar athlete. I played soccer. This is obviously not a regulation size ball, but whatever. That was an amazing, brief part of my college experience, but an awesome one. I still have a lot of my college friends today. We do all kinds of stuff together. We don't get together as much as we used to, but at the same time, these aspects of college are probably some of the most important. All right, now why am I starting off with that as part of this video? Well, if college doesn't go back to campus life, then a lot of those kind of social aspects of college, a lot of the fun stuff is no longer going to be there. Of course, if you're over 21, the bars, the clubs, the hanging out, the parties, okay, great, I get it. But forget that. Let's talk about, there's a lot of other important things. Just hanging out in the quad, playing Frisbee. Like, you can't touch the Frisbee and throw it to somebody else. I mean, just things like that. Simple stuff. Extracurricular activities, club sports, other clubs, like any kind of group things, overseas stuff, like semester at sea, like that's done, like semester abroad, like all of this stuff is going to be taken out. So what I want to talk about is what colleges are planning on doing to have some semblance of this life back. I have some employees here who are college students, so I did talk to them about what their colleges are doing. So let's get into that part of the video. Now remember, drop a like on this video if you want your college to come back. Comment down below what you think your college is doing. I'd love to hear from you guys and I'd love to respond to the comments. So first thing is MSU President Samuel Stanley. Now, first things first, never trust someone with two first names. He knows that Corona will spread if they bring people back to campus. So he's basically stating that he is positive that Corona is going to spread on college campuses. I'm not feeling it, Samuel Stanley. That's terrible. Like, that's kind of, I know being a realist is important, but like, I guess I appreciate his honesty, that he's being frank with people that this is going to cause more Corona, but that kind of just sucks, 7% of colleges have announced they're going all online. All online. Now, I'm not trying to pay 70 grand to do online school. That's just me. Maybe those schools are going to cut people a break. Maybe they're state schools. That I don't know, but I hope that something is done for the 7% of students who go to those schools. Now, let's talk about in-person. So 2/3 of schools claim that they're going to go back to in-person, but there's a lot of caveats to that. Like, the schedules will be different, the situations will be different, the classes will be different. I'm gonna get into that in a second, but I want to talk about the hybrid model. And this is what I'm talking about, is a hybrid model between some online classes and some in-person classes. That's supposed to be 11%. And then there's, I guess, around 60-something% of schools that say they're fully going back. That leaves still several percent, maybe unknown or undecided, but basically it's a mess. Now, let's get into some of the versions of going back that I want to talk about. So version number 1, lower dorm occupancy. Some schools have announced that they're just simply going to have less people in the dorms. They're going to be putting people in hotels or motels. I don't know exactly how that's going to work, but that does make sense that one thing that will have to suffer is the dorm life, right? Unfortunate, because it is fun and it's a great experience living on your own, but at the same time, it seems to be something that will have to suffer. Duke in particular has announced that they will have single rooms for people so that, if one person gets coronavirus and the room doesn't all get it, and I think the big fear would be that an entire dorm has an outbreak, and then they got to shut the whole dorm down, and then what do they do, right? So that's number one. Besides that, some colleges have actually announced that they're going to have scheduled shower time. I can't even say that without laughing. I mean, I'm not trying to laugh because it's not funny, but scheduled shower time, I guess, to make sure people are clean. I don't know, like stop the spread of coronavirus by making sure they're not spreading it. I honestly don't understand that. I mean, I do understand it. Obviously, it's a cleanliness issue, but at the same time, I guess maybe to avoid the interaction, I don't know, just sounds crazy. And other schools have announced that they will have 2% testing every month. I think that actually is a great policy. That's one of the ones I've heard that I like, where everyone is going to be submitted to testing. Well, 2% of people in the college, whether it be faculty, whether it be students, per month, just to, you know, check up and stop the spread. If there's any, I guess, concern about a certain part of the school that did get the virus or something like that, they can test people. They have the capability to test. Like, they should have the capability to test large numbers of people. I think that's actually an awesome idea. I'm all aboard with that one. So UCLA, let's get into that. UCLA is saying 20% of the classes will be in person. So here's my question. The schools that are going back, I don't know if I want to go back and do like 1 out of 5 classes in person and do the other 4 in my dorm by myself, like if I'm separated from everybody else. What about the library? You know, what about like studying in groups? Like, it's just, that seems like almost worse, honestly. Like, that's like a tease, you know, like you get the one class, you get the one moment of interaction, and then you're back into your single room, like hiding by yourself, like not studying with other people. Like, I don't know how I feel about that. Maybe some is better than nothing. I think, you know, it cuts both ways. Another very popular plan is alternating days. So alternating days is where, you know, Monday, Wednesday students are in person, Tuesday, Thursday are, you know, the Tuesday, Thursday classes are online, and then maybe there's some other mix. I mean, obviously that's just a hypothetical, but there's a lot of different ideas thrown out. You know, it sounds okay. I mean, it's also the same thing. It's kind of a tease. It's kind of, you know, you're getting a little bit of what you want, but not all of it. So I don't know exactly how I feel about that, but it sounds like a decent compromise for now. And hopefully as things get better, we can move forward and, you know, and not have so much restriction. So that one I think is okay. I'm on the fence about that. The next one, and I think this is one of the best proposals, maybe for the students, but maybe not for safety, is that school will start earlier and then it will end at Thanksgiving, because there's a perception that there may be a relapse or just a resurgence of corona in the winter. So like, we'll get everyone out of there by Thanksgiving and just get the semester done early. Now, that sounds cool. I mean, that would probably be what I would choose if I was, you know, a 18, 19-year-old student. But theoretically, I don't know if that necessarily solves the problem. Just like moving school forward a little bit, you know, there have to be other restrictions, which I think probably will be put in place. Maybe that's something that a lot of the schools are using to kind of convince students that this is a good idea. One of the workers here goes to Penn State, and that's what her school is doing. So I found that to be pretty interesting. I'm going to talk to her more about that, and, you know, in future videos, update you guys on what's going on. So we got sources. The next one is like small clusters. So there'll be certain clusters of students that will be allowed on campus. There'll be certain classes or types of classes that will be allowed on campus that need kind of that hands-on approach. And there'll be other classes that are just not allowed because they're just not necessary. They can be done online. That approach that makes a lot of sense to me, but at the same time, it seems unfair, right? Like the pottery students get to go do their pottery on the campus and having so much fun making clay pots, and then I'm a finance student and I'm stuck in my house because I can do that online. I get that. That makes perfect logical sense to me, but at the same time, it also seems kind of unfair. So I guess that's one of the ones that we need to see how that goes and what kind of policies they put into place. I guess the last thing would be some kind of mixture of all these different models where like some students are in person, some are alternating days, some are coming in early, and some are coming later. Another big suggestion has been basically college has to be all year round now. So what they'll do is they'll add another semester in the summer. So basically they'll just stretch it out so there's less people on the campus at one time. I have a lot of gears turning in my brain when I think about that. That sounds like a good idea for now. But what I wouldn't want that to turn into is a situation where in the long run, colleges are now just churning year round and then like raising tuition because of that, or, you know, churning students in and out and like raising their tuition rates or raising their acceptance rates and like having more students in the summer, or like having different classes of students. I just see a lot of like kind of bad options coming out of that. I mean, it's great for now. It sounds like a good idea, but I could just see that like the Nick the Tutor like gears are turning in my brain, and like just all the evil things that colleges can come out with. I feel like that one is just rife with just negative possibilities. So it would be cool if it was just like a temporary thing, which I'm sure it would be, but I feel like colleges get addicted to certain kind of like things that happen, you know, and like once they get addicted to something, it's very hard for them to get away from it. Just like, you know, SAT, ACT stuff. Like even though a lot of schools are going optional, like you could see some of them still kind of trying to pull it back in. So I think the all year round school, if there are, you know, financial benefits for a college, could be hard to get rid of. But I think at the end of the day, hopefully I've given you a little insight on how these different options can go. They all kind of sound mediocre to me. The best one, honestly, if I was a student, would be the start early, end early. I mean, that does sound like I'm basically getting the same situation I normally would have gotten. But the problem is that it just seems functionally not as safe as some of the split options or, you know, other options. And obviously there's also some crazy stuff like, you know, forcing people to shower in certain schedules, testing random people, which I think is really smart, but at the same time, a little bit intrusive, I guess, and probably a whole host of other temperature readings and all kinds of other stuff. So what I want you guys to do is leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think your college is going to do. Let me know what you think college is going to look like in a year, in 2 years. What will this all look like in 2 years? You know, will this carry over to that point? Will all colleges still be test optional? Will they have weird schedules, or will we just ditch all that and be back to normal? Honestly, at this point, I don't know, but I hope that we do get back to normal. For all of your sake, I'm in your corner. I'm here to give you this information, and at the end of the day, I'm gonna do my best to try to advise you guys on the best route for you. Like I said, definitely look out for more videos on this topic. I think this is kind of like a breaking news kind of thing, where as things are announced, I'm gonna be announcing new videos. Thanks for watching, guys. Check out some of my other videos, and I'm out. Peace.